Hey everyone, today we're diving into the story of a boy and a crazy cop. The boy explained with an innocent face, but Buck immediately gifted him a shiny silver bracelet, causing his family to feel a bit uneasy. In a fit of rage, Buck thought about arresting the whole family, even including the grand. Shortly after, Officer Hank arrived and Buck claimed the family resembled an escaped convict, only for Hank to inform him that said convict was already. Did you miss the news flash? Buck's face turned red, but for the sake of his pride, he insisted on arresting the This is the information age, and everything had already been posted online. Little Black kept apologizing for the instructor's behavior. The boy's family accused them of discrimination. The situation eased only after Hank's second apology. Buck vented on Little Black. How dare you question the instructor's decisions and call Hank over to embarrass me? Next time you can resign yourself. Buck was just a class. Buck treated whites and blacks very differently. When he saw the white guy in front of him was a model citizen, he started showering him with praises. The moment his target was a black person, he had his hand on his gun, asking if there were any contraband in the car. The woman said there was none, but Buck insisted on searching the car. Hesitating slightly, she was immediately arrested by Buck. I want a divorce. My husband has been threatening me, so I turned in my gun. She had barely arrived when she was stopped. However, Buck was a bottomless racist who immediately slapped a shiny bracelet on her wrist. He even wanted to charge her with burglary and illegal gun transportation. Little Black pleaded, let's at least register the gun first. But Buck ignored him completely, desperate to redeem himself after his previous embarrassment. The woman cried tears of injustice while Little Black decided to go straight to Sheriff Gray. Although Buck wasn't a good cop, Sheriff Gray argued that he was working within the bounds of the regulations. The two bickered for a bit until Hank walked in, immediately siding with Little Black. Sheriff Gray roared angrily, "You two dare talk to me like this? Leave now, or no one leaves unscathed." After work, Little Black could only run to vent his frustrations. Are our lives not worth anything? A police car stopped behind. Though an officer, he raised hands. The man was Sheriff Gray. With similar skin tones, Gray understood his feelings. He had heard all about Buck's problematic ways of handling cases. People like him must be kept in check, otherwise, countless people of color would suffer the consequences. Little Black agreed to gather evidence. Once I have solid proof, the rest is on me. He followed Buck out on patrol and happened to stumble upon a flyer deal taking place around a corner. The three saw the police car and sprinted away, while he and the other two cops took off after the backpack. Seeing there was no escape, the young guy tossed the backpack into the sewer, and Buck promptly drew his gun. Little Black sensed something was off and stepped in to control the young guy, when suddenly Buck claimed his body cam was missing. Then he began listing a bunch of charges, only for the guy to snap and start yelling. Little Black thought, you must be crazy. Sure enough, the next second, Buck slapped handcuffs on him. He then left Little Black to guard the evidence, and everyone knew exactly what Buck was up to. Buck gave Gray Little Black's defiance report, had known and was set to strike back. Gray naturally saw through the intrigue, and after work, he personally sought out Little Black. To save Little Black's career, Gray wanted to switch his instructor. But Little Black insisted he'll do whatever it takes to get Buck out of the police force. Gray gave him one last chance. The next day, Little Black approached Buck with his head down. They set off on another day of patrol, where a group of young folks gathered around a car on the side of the road. No surprise here, Buck was ready to stir things up again, telling them to put their hands in the car for a search. One young man protested, "You don't have the right to do this." Buck smirked and pulled out his baton. Little Black hurried forward to mediate, urging them to hop back in their car and leave. Buck stubbornly declared, "Even if your dad works for the Interior Department, it won't matter." Little Black could not hold back anymore. "You actually know my dad works in the Interior. He's basically the boss of the whole department. I don't know whether I'll lose my job, but yeah, I'll definitely be out first." Buck was the type who bullied the weak and feared the strong. Back in the car, he only wanted another chance. They kept on patrolling in an awkward atmosphere until they saw a sedan drive into an estate. Buck immediately followed, finding the vehicle parked at an apartment entrance. The two hopped out to take action. Little Black wanted to call for backup, but Buck reminded him people can be bad too, and they split up to take action. Little Black emerged completely clueless while Buck didn't bother to warn him. Soon, Little Black found himself confronted by 3 burly guys, and he desperately called for backup. But they ignored his pleas, seeing his weapon, and quickly took him down, kicking and punching him mercilessly.